Hi everybody, it's the old Duffer. RL wiring. I've made the complete loom. I was going to video it, but me walking up and down running cables is not very interesting. Basically, what you need to do is do a doodle and work out where all your bits on. This is for a side marker. The side marker is all the way down, and that's what the clamps are, so I've got to hook the wires on. You can just about see the finished loom there, all taped up. Cloth, proper cloth loom tape. Basically, yeah, you just, do a drawing, just a basic block drawing of where you want everything to be and where it needs to be, brake light switch, and then do a list of colours for each thing. Bearing in mind you don't want to use the same colours as you've used for the engine loom. So this is the near side light cables, because I've added a fog light and reversing lights on this, and there's one more cable to go down here yet, which is for a reverse camera. That's the right hand side, and then you got coming along here, that's the side marker. This one here that comes, an extra one in here, this diff needs to be painted white, and they normally have an illumination that goes on there. I think it's a convoy light or night convoy light or something they call it. Somebody will correct me, I'm sure, but basically, so your diffs illuminate. I think they could follow each other then, running on side lights or something. Yeah, side markers. This vehicle doesn't need side markers because of its age, 1955, but it's big and green, and they're quite dark in colour, so I'd much rather put side markers on it so it's a bit more visible, the side marker, because the truck actually comes out another 800mm beyond the chassis, so it covers the wheels. It comes out to about here with the body on it. Hence these hopefully will be long enough with the lights on. If not, I can always extend them, it's not a problem. That's a fuel gauge, that one's a fuel pump, and so on. There's one down here, that's the brake light, will be, the brake light switch is in there, and then we come on to the front here. This is the main loom. This bit is coiled up because this has all the colours in. This is basically lights and fuel pump and fuel gauge sender unit, and it'll end up, I don't know, up here somewhere at the back of the dash where it all plugs in, and I will put modern plugs on all this, so we don't get any water in. Old bullet connectors and that went out with square wheels. It's absolutely pointless using them these days. And it's just, these headlight, sorry, getting found. That's a headlight, head dip and earth. Side light, that'll be the indicator, because the indicator, your finger is up here somewhere on the wing. Though the chassis is earthed and there'll be a braid to the cab because on rubber mounts, the engine earth to the chassis as well, get me teeth in. But I've also run an earth wire all the way around and bonded to the earth post. And there will be certain parts of the loom, wire steel cased lamp stuff, which will go into ground as well. So there'll be plenty of earth, because a lot of time people have terrible trouble just relying on the chassis as earth on a vehicle like this. So the next job is to terminate the ones I know are going where, with modern waterproof plugs ready to be plugged in. It's this sort of thing. It's that, I won't get it in the camera so you can see, it's that sort. That's one half, that's a female half, and they have a silicon boot that squashes up inside. But my usual trick with this sort of thing, if you use silicone grease, not silicone sealer, silicone grease, and put it in there and then squeeze the two together, it keeps the moisture out, guaranteed, over and above everything. They will not corrode, and the silicone grease is inert, so it doesn't short the connections out, and it works perfectly. So we really are getting there, though it seems to be taking forever, and it took me a couple of days to make all this, as you can imagine, running up backwards and forwards, hooking all the cables on, and then I use 65 meters of cloth loom tape to just do this, because it starts over there, that corner goes all the way down the chassis, across it comes all the way back up here. I'm trying to avoid too much wiring around the engine, because it's just a recipe for disaster. I've run out of P-clips, so none of this is clipped down, hence that's hooked up there at the way to keep it off the exhaust for moving it. For the time being, I would order, and I order more P-clips. I only use stainless steel P-clips with the neoprene rubber coating and stainless steel fixings. It is a waste of time using mild steel. They just corrode. you know, the UK weather, it just creates, if I go into the machine shop, I have my really hideous drawing, but as long as it makes sense to who's doing it, it doesn't matter. Right, so I literally was just messing on it to come out. Yeah, there's a list of all the colours that I was using for it, and as you can see, headlights, horn's going to go there, all the switches up top, got a fuse box in, this is all sort of cab area, and then we've got all the different bits at the back, and the loop over means it's not connected to the fuel pump, fuel gauge, and it's just a very basic block drawing of where you think, you know, all the side markers are going to be, so then you can work it out on the unit itself. So there you go. Wiring sort of 2/3 done. It's all termination of everything now and plugging everything back in, but I have got to take the loom that I started. You can see bits of it on here on the engine down there, because there's no tape or anything on it. I've got one more wire to put in because I forgot we have an oil pressure switch, though I put a gauge on it. You know, on the original dash it has a switch, so I'd like it to work. I know it's probably nonsense, but it's part of it. Yeah, bring it around under here. Everything we have to cover up because it gets covered in dust. But yeah, there's the engine limit, all needs taping up now, and this is long enough to end up in you know, behind the dash. So there you go, wiring getting there, truck getting there. I needed to get this finished today because I need to push it out, because I bought another vehicle that we need for daily use. It's got a crane on the back, and I need to do a brake overhaul, but more about that in the future. So there you go, electrics for now. Ta-da till the next one.